Okay, I don't know what you've done, but someone is thinking about you morning, noon, and night. And that is not even all. Whoever this is, they have a response to you. They can feel you wherever they go. And it's like, it's crazy because they can feel your absence and your presence. They wake up in the morning and the first thing they think about is you, but it's not just thinking about you. Spirit was saying they see signs, angel numbers, synchronicities. They hear your name, it's almost like even if they would try to stop thinking about you, they couldn't because they are reminded of you every single day. And we have the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. Whoever they are, they're definitely not used to this. A part of them is thinking, what the heck is actually going on? They're questioning their entire reality because of your meeting, because it does not make sense. It doesn't make rational sense why everything is happening, and there's like a dichotomy. A part of them enjoys this slow burn, this tension between you. There is longing, with that card of devotion, there is longing, there is desire, but it's a romantic longing. It's not just superficial. It's not just that they are attracted to you like a crush. This goes way deeper. This is definitely a soul connection we're talking about, because with the Wheel of Fortune, this is also fate, It's kind of like when you meet someone. I was talking about that recently here. It's like you meet someone, you look into that person's eyes and you're like, oh my God, you can feel it. It's like lightning strikes. It's like this jolt of energy that goes all throughout your body. And all you can think, well, it's like, where have you been all my life? Or I've been waiting for you. That feeling of, I have been searching for you across lifetimes. I have walked the abyss, the deepest depths, just to fall into your arms again. And that is the energy. It is really, really beautiful, but they're definitely not used to this. So it's kind of like there is a back and forth between you energetically. You know what I mean? You can feel it. You can sense it. Sometimes it feels as if they were right there with you, which is crazy because you're like, how can that be? It doesn't make sense. And this back and forth between you energetically is going on 24/7. You have a strong telepathy with that person, but here's where you're like, what the heck is going on? Because on the outside, in the physical, it seems to be stuck. You're like, I can feel this bond, I can feel this connection, so why is it not moving forward? Like, why are they not making a move? I kind of want to find it out today, what is holding them back. Okay, Spirit, what is going on with them? Give me a little bit of information, what they're hiding. There is also a song that came up, and that song has a lot of symbolism. This is you, oh my God. Yeah, I'd like to share the Magician at the bottom and the Ten of Cups. Wow. I'd like to share that song with you because this is that energy. You're definitely more of the intuitive person. You're someone who is very attuned with, I don't want to say the other side, it sounds like you're a medium, but you know what I mean, like the unknown, the unseen. And this person is more, it's someone who has a childlike spirit, enthusiastic, visionary, but a little bit more rooted in reality, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I believe it when I see a type of energy. But when you met, it's like you realized it first, and they're in the thick of it. They're in the midst of their own confusion, still really overwhelmed. It's almost like something hit them out of left field, and now it's like, how can I go back into my old life? And the song that came up, I want to read you the lyrics because that was earlier today, that song came up and I knew it was for that reading. And I feel with what is happening with you, you're going through your day. Let's say you're working, you're out and about, you're running errands, you have to focus and stuff like that. And suddenly you hear a song and you're almost like stopped in your tracks for a second because it feels so overwhelming. And this is the communication that is already going on between you, which is pretty strong. So Spirit wants you to acknowledge that. And I feel like if this reading resonates, they could also send you quote unquote songs. You know, whenever you're on Spotify and you're a song and you're like suddenly, this is the type of music they listen to, or this is the band we all always used to listen to. This is ways how your higher selves, these are ways your higher selves are communicating. So the song goes like, shadows fall on yesterday. It's like time just slips away. I'm nothing, darkness follows me. The dawning never shows its head. I'm left dying here instead with nothing, a lock without a key. So that's kind of the energy. There are two energies going on. The first one is where they are sitting with themselves in their own energy alone, and they feel your absence and they feel the longing that they have. You know, a longing is something where it's like, it's almost, it feels physical. When you're longing for someone, it feels like it is affecting you physically. And the way that it expresses itself to me, it's like they are in bed at night and you're just missing. There is a void in this person's life without you there, because even though they can feel this telepathy going on, they can feel that you're energetically like communicating. Even if they're rational, they can still sense it. It's not enough. It's not enough for them. And then it's also, this is how they see you. This is another part of the song. Like the brightest star you shine through. Ashley, baby, you make me feel so alive. I got purpose once again. So obviously, if your name is Ashley, of course, take it how it resonates, but it's just the name of the song, you know? So the thing is, you did something more than just stir up feelings, okay? This is, I'm also getting a little bit hoarse. They have problems expressing this. It's like they saw you. Something happened between you that is unexplainable, that they can't understand, but it feels so good that they want to give into this. And after you met, you kind of have shown them what life could be. And this is with the 10 of Cups. What life could be and who they could be. Because this person is not, they, you know, they are on a spiritual path too. They're on a spiritual journey. They are not where they could be. They look at you and they see within you such a depth. Like you have so many layers and you have so much wisdom. You're someone who is unlike anyone they have ever met. And they are purely just also fascinated by you. Fascinated, and you give them this, you know, when you get that intense motivation to go and ask for more in life, to do more, because you are, in a way, you're someone who's very authentic, raw. You do your thing. You don't care that much anymore what other people are thinking about you, and they can sense that. And they have always dreamed of this future, but they haven't really met that person yet. But when they met you, it felt like, oh my God, this is it. This is what their inner guidance was telling them. But then it was like, wait a minute. And this is, I feel, where this is the issue. Because there is a layer of them holding back. There's a layer of them, they're not confessing, they're not putting the cards on the table. They're not really telling you how they feel. You are so mysterious, you're so wise, you're almost like a sage a little bit, you know, like a sage or a mystic, like someone who is they can't figure you out, and that it's almost a little bit scary to them, because what if you're not the way you seem? Because this is someone who's battling a lot with their ego. The ego is not necessarily a bad thing. The ego tries to protect us, tries to keep us in the known, in a safe space. The ego wants you to stay where you're at and not evolve, because that could be dangerous potentially. But in order to experience that true romance, the Hermit at the bottom, in order to experience that true romance, you also need to be able to take a risk. Because, where a lot is at stake, where the stakes are high, you can have a lot of fulfillment, but only if you have some sort of trust, there is a level of trust. If you want to have deep intimacy in a relationship, you also need to be able to be vulnerable. And this is their problem. This is where I'm seeing them right now in their hermit journey. It's like they're pulling back. They seem rather distant, not in a bad way, but just detached, just like unbothered. And you're asking yourself, like, what is going on with them? And Spirit was telling me, giving me this inner dialogue that they have. I'm seeing them, they want to reach out to you. There are these impulses where they want to reach out to you. It could really be that they've already typed out a text, a message, like, maybe planning to just first ask you to meet so they can carefully just find a common ground to just talk for a moment, and then slowly reveal their emotions, slowly reveal how they feel, because they're not going to come rushing in. This is someone who'd rather move with intention, but long-term, like long focused, like focused on a long-term stable foundation. This is not someone who would be only, like into a situationship. But the problem is their ego tries to protect them, where it's like the voice inside of their head is like, oh my God, this can't be real. You're just making up all these signs and synchronicities. You know what? That's just nothing, because they're not that spiritual. You, on the other hand, you already know that there's something more, and their soul is telling them that there's something more, yet their ego tries to rationalize everything. It's like, oh, that's probably just nothing. And then when they overcome this, it's like, yeah, okay, but what if that person's gonna hurt you like all the others? What if he or she is not who they seem to be on the outside? You've been hurt so bad. Do you really want to risk it again? And this is where they're at right now. And Spirit is putting a big emphasis, because there is, I feel like, frustration and an emphasis on time for you, because a part of you is like, listen, I've been waiting for so long for this relationship. I just want it to happen, really. Like, I am fed up. And Spirit is really telling me, in this void, everything is happening between you, okay? So sometimes it seems like nothing is moving in the physical, but you're already having that strong telepathy. Like, you're exchanging energy 24/7. So sometimes when we're thinking we can't reach out to that person, or they don't care about us, but then we see the evidence in form of these signs and synchronicities. And let me remind you, like, the Magician is also about, like, what is in the dark, in the unseen, will be brought to the light, or what is in the unseen will be brought to the seen. When you're seeing signs and synchronicities, this is already a reflection of what is going on between you on a soul level, okay? So if you want to dive deeper, I have a whole workbook where I'm going into signs that they are really reaching out to you energetically, that they're thinking about you, like what is actually going on behind the scenes, because there are ways on how you can find out where they're standing and know this is not evil, this is not you manipulating them. You're simply tuning into their higher self, okay? Their higher self, because, okay, so the thing is with you too, this is what I'm picking up on. There are our higher selves, okay? Our higher selves are the parts of us that are unaffected by the problems of the past, the hurt, the betrayal, the disappointment, whatever happened in your past relationships. And when you look at them, you can kind of feel that version. It's there, and they know it's there when they look at you. That's why they have these almost sometimes like visions of a future with you, where they look at you and they get these feelings, these intense emotions, almost like they get a taste of the future with you. But then the doubt comes in, and then the anxiety comes in. And Spirit is really urging you to let go of the past, like the disappointment that other people have caused you that you're still carrying. Because don't let the experiences of the past dictate what you're going to experience with that person, okay? And there is a method that I've created, basically, since, I'm on the twin flame journey. It's not always easy, so I came up with this method. It is called the photo method, and you can connect to this higher self version of them, okay? The version of them that exists, that best version, that version that can love you in the way that you deserve. And you can communicate and call this into your reality. Every time you do that exercise, you basically deepen that connection on a non-physical level, because that non-physical is the basis for the movement we're gonna see. And it really helps because you can send and receive love. It's an incredibly healing experience. And you can even use it if you've had some experiences with them. Maybe you've had an encounter with them that was not perfect, it's like not very, it didn't go that well. You can kind of reframe it. You can heal this moment. You can take that tension away, and you can go into your emotions instead of repressing them. And that is so, so powerful. It's really, I've done that with my twin flame as well, and the results are mind-blowing from that. Not just what you're going to experience in the physical, but also the way you feel within yourself, the way you can, have that trust that everything is working out no matter what you see in the physical. This is part of my new Manifest Your SP guide. It will be linked down below. The first 20 people who grab the guide will also get the embodiment manual, because that is going to show you how you can actually really feel safe receiving that love. Because sometimes we're like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm really ready. Like, universe, give that relationship to me, because I have really done the work. And I feel you have done the work. You've done so much work on yourself. Like, you've really been through the dark night of the soul, not just once, I feel. But the question is, can you really accept it? What would that really feel like if I were to ask you right now, can you accept this unconditional love from them? How does it feel for you to let that in? Is there any resistance? Is there a part of you that wants to block it out, or is already coming along with another doubt? Then this is basically what we're tackling within the guide. If you want that, the first 20 people get that embodiment manual for free. So grab it while it lasts. And let me get another quick message before I also get into their thoughts. Okay, Spirit, is there anything more coming up for this message? Wow. The World card and the Hanged Man. Yeah. It really feels the World card is also completion of a cycle, or, the completion in and of itself. It feels like you are the missing piece, like in that song earlier, totally forgot to mention that. They felt like a lock without a key. When you're not there, it feels like they cannot unlock these parts of themselves, because they need you to unlock these parts of themselves. But in this sense, like that silence between you, or that feeling stuck, with the Hanged Man, it made them spiral, and they had to face their own insecurities, because what you've been doing is you've been so much in your power that you haven't really been chasing them, or, you know, energetically, you've been letting go a little bit. Not that you don't want them anymore, but you were just kind of living it up. You're living your life, you know, you're doing your thing. And it's like, I don't know, they feel, this is, Spirit wants me to really tell you this because that might help you currently. Even if you don't say anything, they can feel your inner shift, because what you're energetically sending out to them, that's what they feel. So let's just say, I don't know, you have a day where you feel really, really sassy and confident. You're dancing in front of the mirror, you're doing your thing, you're going out with friends, you're just having fun, you're cooking your favorite recipe, you're just living your life, you're spoiling yourself. They can feel all of that, and that makes you even more magnetic. And in that sense, like, they felt like how radiant you are through that energetic shift, and it also made them face their own insecurities, because this energetic shift also made them feel like you might have moved on from them because they didn't know, because you weren't talking. And the funny thing is that actually makes them, because now there's, first you've been chasing them energetically, now they're chasing you, you know, whenever you're pulling back, they're kind of chasing you. They feel that pulling back energy. That's, wow, that's really so, that's so interesting that that came up, because I had that on my mind for a few days now. Don't ever think that there's nothing going on behind the scenes, because everything is happening in the unseen first. Like, everything you see in the physical was first in your mind. Your inner conversations you have with them, you know, when you're, I'm just gonna dream myself away and picture something, you're manifesting. But the same thing is also when you're picturing the worst case scenario, you're also manifesting. The good thing is you get to choose. You get to choose. When you're becoming conscious of this, and this is it, you have to become conscious of it, of that story that you're telling yourself. Because there's not just kind of one version of them, if it makes sense. There are many different versions of them, and depending on the version you focus on, that's what you're going to experience with them. So the question is, what do you want, you know? What do you want? Get clear on it. So I highly recommend you to go and try the dream catcher method as well. It's also a part of my workbook, because it's kind of part 2 to the photo method, where you really get to step into that life with them. If you have a specific future in mind, like, I don't know, living together, getting married, things like that, a shared home, you know, a happy committed relationship, whatever your ideal looks like, you can already step into it and make it feel real now, you know, instead of waiting for it. Getting out of the waiting energy is the first thing that Spirit is telling you to do here, is really don't claim that you're waiting for them, because they have made up their mind. They're saying, you keep me up at night. They could have dreams of you potentially where they see that future, but it's also more so this overthinking you, wondering what you're doing, wondering what you're up to, wondering whether you've already moved on. They're also saying, I only have eyes for you. This is the thing, whenever they're looking at you, they can't stop looking at you, because when they look at you, they feel so much that it draws them into this world that you have. You are like a whole cosmos with that world card. You are your own world, and they want to be part of this world. They want to really treat you well with that devotion card. Wow, I'm definitely gonna do a part 2 on that. So subscribe if you don't want to miss out. Don't miss out on the Manifest Your SP guide. It's linked down below. It's brand new. As I said, the first 20 people are gonna get the embodiment manual. I don't know if it's already gone. So go to the link down below. It's packed full of amazing shifts, really, for you to embody this now, to look at where you might be holding yourself back. And it's also full of amazing ways on already living in the end, you know, because this is actually what we're struggling with the most. It's not that you don't know what you want, it's more so like, Can you stay in that energy? Can you maintain that energy regardless of what your 3D is showing you? So that was it for today. Thank you so much for sticking around, for supporting the channel. I appreciate all of you, and I'm going to see you around in the next one.